So just a quick introduction. So I co-own Yellow Brick Road, which operated since 2015. And the recent venture would be Contour, which is a bakery and a roastery under one roof, which I opened last October. So these two brands are actually something that is very close to me, something that I love to do since the day I decided to step into F&B. So my journey begins way before those years where I started as a barista since 2012. So my coffee journey began at 2012 as 12 years ago, just as a barista, stepping into a random cafe, which is called Red Bean Bag. I guess some of you have heard of it before. So eventually I moved on into competition in 2013, where pretty much looking for a direction, a motivation, a purpose, because I think a lot of time as a barista, we tend to lose a little bit of direction where we realize we just stay on and make coffee day in, day out. Although that is the fun part of it. I love it the most, to be honest. But eventually, I wanted to look for direction and move on. So that's where I needed to seek for more, purpose and motivation. So I got into competition. I got to know about it in 2013. So that was my first year competing after about less than a year in the barista industry, in the scene. So lucky enough, I got to get the champion title for it. And subsequently, 2014, there weren't any competition. And 2015, as per Mr. Calvin mentioned, where there's our first year taking the sanction to send the representative to the world stage. So these make a very different impact and perception to me where we could go way further in the coffee industry. So at that point of time is where I started to take competition really seriously, where I think the whole motive is to put Malaysia in the world map, because achieving something in the world stage would really help to bring our coffee culture into the world. So 2015 was our first year to represent Malaysia to Seattle. No clue, all of us were really new. So we literally step in there, bring in whatever necessary, and I think achieve a pretty good result, around 24, if not mistaken, among 50 countries. So that was the very first achievement. So I thought I really wanted to move on further. And the subsequent year, I didn't join. I skipped for a year. And then I joined again at 2017. So that was the year where I got to really step up the game and understand a lot more about competition and try to work hard to achieve something in the world stage. So the result was pretty good. I got top 7, which is just one spot below the finals. So finals are top 6. And back then, the semi-finalists, I think, is only 12 spot. So really, really lucky to be holding a top 7, number 7 in the world stage. So I still remember the moment where Anne-Marie stepped into the backstage where I was debriefing on my score sheets and stuff like that. So she walked to me and asked whether, hey, Jason, you want to know your ranking? So because that's our first year for the Barista Championship to really get into semi-final. So we have never really gone into semi-finalists, and all of us were really thrilled and excited with the results. So then Anne-Marie told me that I was just a few points away from the top 6, and I was like really, really excited, really happy about it. But at that point of time, I didn't know if I should continue or I wanted to do it because I felt happy and sad at the moment. It's like almost there, but not there. And I was really, really like uncertain about it. But I'm pretty sure that I still want to make coffee. So that's where competition is like something in me to keep me moving forward. So throughout the years after 2017, I've always been trying to really stay relevant, to know and follow the footsteps, the growth on the industry and everything. So I took part mostly in coaching baristas throughout the years, national championship or even overseas where if I got invited to really support the baristas. So throughout the 7 years, I've always been coaching until 2023, where if you can see on the picture, the person on the middle, on the second from the right, so his name is Suren, and he's last year's champion. So that's where it really sparked me to really look into the whole championship again. So working with him was one of the best moments. Difficult time, but it was really, really enjoyable during that training session, the discussion, the purpose, and the whole idea of competition. So we were able to secure the champion title and represent the country this year in Busan in May, and we secured top 14. So also in semi-finalists, but it was his first time in the world stage, so it was a very, very fun moment. So how did I decided to compete again? I mean, from 2017 to this year was a very, very simple bet between myself and Suren. So I was coaching him and he said, let's bet, let's have a bet. If I win it, I'm gonna coach you and you're gonna compete next year. So I kept my promise and I signed up. I think last year the registration was in July, and I decided to say, just do it. Even though I'm gonna set up my new business in October, it was really, really intense moment, very busy as well. But I thought, promise is a promise, and so I kept the promise and joined the competition. So it was a very difficult moment for me personally, because to juggle between an existing business, which is Yellow Brick Road, and setting up a new roastery and bakery, which is pretty new for me, in fact, especially roasting side, because I've never done roasting. Throughout the 10 years, I've always been sourcing coffee from roasters, but never got into roasting it. So this was a very challenging moment, but it was pretty much of really keeping to promise and be sure about the decision that I have made. So I chose to continue. So the picture that you can see was during the preliminary round. So I was having difficult time juggling around competition, practicing, running the cafe, checking on quality QC on my products, and also ensuring Yellow Brick Road is still running smooth. So because I do take care of the operation a lot more. So I tend to be running around all shops and do trainings. So one little thing happened during the preliminary was during the routine, if you guys are aware about the competition, where the product filter for my routine was supposed to be on the table, but I ended up forgot to do the setup. So I left the product filter on the trolley and it was pushed out to out from my competition ground. So that was the moment, the turning point for me, that I knew I needed to really work hard and have a very, very clear mindset to train hard. So lucky enough, I got through the preliminary. So that was in early February. And then we started practicing for the World Barista Championship, which was in early May. So my schedule was really tight. And the national championship was it's going to happen in end of May. So I knew that I only have about 2 weeks plus for my training. So so the picture here on the right is actually the current setup for my competition training ground. So I had the luxury to rent a space to do a setup just for it, because I knew I had very minimal time and I needed a full setup to ensure that the whole routine was done perfect, done well, to make sure that I can present and be the best of myself. So that's where, if you can see on the other photos, those are for my preliminary training. So I loaned a space from my friend Sean at Curate Roaster. So he was kind enough to give me a space upstairs to set up a very simple, you can see it's just tables and setup. So that was a journey. I think it's very, very tiring for me. But I believe anyone that aspires to join competition will know that this is where the hard work comes in, just for the last 15 minutes. But this part of time is where you dedicate the full attention, the full moment. And for me, I was also busy running business, so it was very much of juggling between the shop and also doing the practice. So, so after that was pretty much testing, R&D, tasting. So these were a lot of the back work that you may not see on the stage. Because I've been tasting coffee day in, day out. So during competition, it's a lot about perfection. And these are the things that we want to achieve in a championship. So I think all this is very, very much relatable in life as well, in running a cafe and everything you do, where you want to put in your best and really achieve and research and do the best you can to present for everyone the products that you're doing. So very much, if you can see, determination, innovation. So these are the things that go through my mind during the practice, where I knew that I didn't want to stop. I just had to go forward, because taking a step back wasn't an option. Even during this period of time, during the training session, the previous time, I had friends that asked me whether I want to pull out, because I needed to really focus on my business as well, and also to ensure things are running smooth. But they didn't want to see me struggling. But in my mind was pretty much that if I've made a decision to move forward, forward will only be an option. I wouldn't want to take a step back. So that's where I really work overtime, over hours, nighttime, just to make sure that I'm able to really do the best I can on the stage. So all this wouldn't happen with just myself, of course. So this year I worked closely with a roaster. So a very different step that I took, because even though I set up my own roastery, but to me, it's a community. So it's like everyone is here is a community. We all are here for one reason: good coffee. So I work with my team. I have a whole team of baristas as well, helping out, set up the competition, and working with Ling Ling and Jimmy from a float roaster. So they are my coffee roaster for this year in the competition. So because this year is our first year in roasting, so we are very new, and we thought it's the best time to work together, to learn from each other, and also to make things work out, because I don't see a point that we do it all by ourselves and trying to just put it out there. But we should work together as a community to get things work out together. So a fun fact is Jimmy used to be my barista at Red Bean Bag and even Yellow Brick Road. And I'm very, very happy to be working with them after 10 years in the coffee industry, getting together, doing the same purpose to really put our step in the world stage to make the best out of it. So this is the final day on the competition. So this year I presented a concept where I talked a little bit about value, where the importance of the barista, sharing the stories. So I think it's just like the whole event, the purpose of us is to share the stories, the producers, the roasters, what they do, and why are we bringing this on the table for everyone to drink. So I thought bringing back to basic was one of the best topic that I truly believe in myself, where we want to highlight all the little things but amplified it. So this year I presented that on the stage. So you can see there are bags of coffee on the table. So that is like, I literally started my story with a bag of coffee where I pour it into the coffee hopper. So those are little things that we do every day as a barista, but we tend to overlook it and forget the importance of it. So hence the whole presentation was about that. And lucky enough, I got the whole championship, the champion, and these are my team. So Suran was coaching me throughout this whole event, throughout the whole championship. So he dedicated his time. I had my team to run the show. We even had a booth in ICBS during the national championship. And they were all participating on their own role to make sure that things are running smooth. And I believe this is a community thing where everyone plays a role. We share something. We share what we love, the purpose of it, to bring it out there for more people to enjoy better coffee. So what's next for me? Pretty much giving back, inspiring others, where I try to share more stories and the purpose behind the things that we do. And of course, preparing for the world stage. So this year, where I'm really hoping that we can secure a better ranking in the world stage, which will be happening next year in October in Milan. And yeah, that's pretty much about my story. Thank you.